Hello, dreamers. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time watching or listening, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at LivinTheDream506. Share it. Tell your friends about it. All that good stuff. Everything helps. So thanks at the very least for just being here. My guest today is the lead singer and guitarist of the folk rock project out of Nashville, Tennessee, known as Arts Fishing Club. His name is Christopher Kessenich, and their new EP, The Show, is out today. So go give it a listen wherever you get your music, and let's get into it.
Hey, I'm Christopher of Arts Fishing Club, and I'm living the dream. Living the dream. What's going on?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Where are you out of?
So I'm in New Brunswick, Canada.
Oh, right on. Okay. Yeah, okay. I listened to your, I think I listened, did you have two of the guys from The Head and the Heart on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to that.
I had Tyler and Kenny.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I enjoyed the cast with them.
Yeah, well, I only know them from this, right? But
right.
So Christopher Kessenich, is that right?
It's Kessenich, actually.
Kessenich. Ooh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Christopher weird. Kessenich.
Yep.
Arts Fishing Club. I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the old squad.
So Arts Fishing Club. What's that name come from? I have to ask.
Yeah, no worries. Actually, so when I first started playing music, I started playing with my little cousin, and we played like this open mic, and we needed a name for the open mic. And our grandfather used to always take us fishing, and one time on a fishing trip, we kind of made T-shirts that were like arts, and my grandfather's name is Art. Arthur, and so we had made these Arts Fishing Club T-shirts just for some of the for all of us that were on it. And so when we played that open mic, my cousin said, "Oh, let's name it that," and I was like super not into it because nobody's ever going to take that seriously, blah blah blah. But then the more that I kind of thought about it, I loved. So my other grandfather is also named Arthur, so both my grandfathers were named Art, and so it felt like, oh, that's kind of, that's really interesting. That's an homage to them, to both of them. And then beyond that, I just liked kind of this metaphor of approaching music and creativity like I was taught to go out fishing, where it's like, you're going out there and you're casting with the intention of success every single time, so it's purposeful, but like if you judge your success by the end of the day, like catching a big fish, you're never going to be happy. It's more about, being in the boat and drinking some beers with the people that you love. But at the same time, trying your ass off, because it's way more fun when you do catch big fish. And the people that do it a lot, like I'll be in the same boat with my cousins who are, who they fish a lot better than I do. And it's same boat, same tackle, same everything. And they're just ripping fish and I'm just nothing, you know what I mean? So it's, I love that sort of metaphor that kind of just started coming up with, man, that's just like music, how like, it's kind of this weird chance thing, but at the same time, it's not at all chance. It's about going out every day and just, casting. So
putting in the work.
Putting in the work, yeah, exactly. So, and then, it's just not about like whether or not you have a big fish, like a big hit or anything like that. It's just more about doing it. So,
right.
little hallmarky, whatever. I don't know what do you want to call it, but yeah, we all liked it, and so we just stuck with it.
I like it. I like it way more now that I know why. Because like
Cool.
arts is like arts possessive. It's arts
Exactly.
fishing club. Yeah. So the way I read it, obviously, like being in the arts is
Right.
like music and arts fishing club. So I was kind of just, that's why I had to ask, right? Like I didn't understand it, but I love it now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And it is funny because people die. They just hate the fact that we don't include that apostrophe there. So many, I mean, constantly emails, people are adding it in. And so that's like a little, I don't know if it's like a masochistic side of me, but we get a kick out of it every single time that people are like adding that in, and then we're like, oh, no, or we leave it out. People, the grammar police out there just lose their minds. So it's
Right.
funny.
So you did fish your whole life.
Yeah, terribly.
Of course.
I'm a bad fisherman, but yeah, I'm originally from Wisconsin, which, you know, you being from Canada, I describe Wisconsin as the Canada of the United States. Um, it's very similar cultures, like lots of lakes, lots of beer, and lots of like fishing and hunting and outdoor, you know, Northwoods snow type activities. So and very friendly, laid back people that would just rather be like, yeah, stranger, here, take a beer, come hang out, you know. Um, so yeah, grew up fishing all the time.
Nice. What else are you into?
Man, I played a lot of sports growing up. And would go. I loved snowboarding. Snowboarding was probably my first love. You know, for um, the, you know, like younger kid in me wanted to, for a while was like, wow, professional snowboard, or like just maybe not professional, but just like go live that like mountain ski town life and just like, you know, dig into that. But then I found music, and just that seemed to have a little bit more, it just grabbed me, you know.
For sure. When did you start music?
Um, Always. I mean, I always sang. I think in second grade, I like my parent teacher conferences or whatever you call those. You know, my second grade teacher said, "Oh, you know, love Christopher. He's a great kid, but he's constantly singing and disrupting class because he's just singing all the time." So I think growing up, I sang a lot of time, or all the time, and then I started teaching myself guitar in high school. And then I think I wrote my first song when I was like 20 or something like that. So a little bit later than a lot of other people, but yeah, it was something that I always wanted to do, but I didn't think real people did. I thought it was like, I didn't realize that it was just a choice. And I kind of thought it was, you know, you had to be like, you know, anointed by the hand of God
Yeah.
or whatever, like with the bestowed the powers to do it all. And then I slowly but surely just realized, no, like everyone's just humans, and they just started doing it one day and just kept doing it and kept slowly but surely getting better. So that now they can do it full time. So
Yeah, like there's levels to it, and it's like with anything, you only ever see the top 0.001%. So you think in that way, like, oh, I'm not Bob Dylan, so I can't be a musician, right? Yeah.
exactly. and
Yeah.
and especially, and I think a lot of it too comes down to like exposure to people that are doing it. So, you know, growing up in Appleton, Wisconsin, there weren't, you know, I didn't meet any professional, you know, working musicians that were just like doing it every day. And so that's when I moved to Nashville, that's when it really started like sinking in of like, whoa, I'm meeting all of these people that aren't famous, that aren't, you know, blah, 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 but like are full time living and working as musicians. And it's like, it's not just like, you don't have to be, you know, Adele or Taylor Swift or like, you know, this massive thing. There's a lot of other people dedicating their life to music and art and just figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
I had a guitar teacher too that he is one of my favorite things that he ever said. He said, yeah, we were kind of just talking about it all. And he said, yeah, you know, like some people, you know, they go to work and then they you know, they go golfing or they go do XYZ hobby. And he's like, me and my friends, we just like, we make records with our like, we go to work and then we go and make records. And I thought that was a really cool thing where I was like, oh yeah, like it's just like this fun little hobby that can be more and more serious. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've noticed where I'm at, some of my favorite bands in the world are just local bands that have full-time jobs outside of music, and they play a little hour gig every couple months and that's it.
Totally.
And in my opinion, they should and could go on and just be famous, and they're that next level talent. And it just goes to show that even if you don't make it, you can still be great. And there's a lot to it. And actually, this kind of segues into your new EP that you guys have coming out called The Show.
Sure.
And so that comes out April 30th. I read that it kind of dabbles with the idea of being famous. It's kind of like maybe the road to it. Maybe I'll let you just kind of speak on that for a second.
Yeah. So I think the songs that ended up kind of coming together, some of them, it wasn't like we sat down and wrote this project like, okay, hey, we want to say this and we're writing this like right now. It was more, we've got a lot of songs, and these ones seem to fit together and kind of have like this through line narrative a little bit. And I think a lot of it has to do with my personal just like confusion and struggle with the music career and constantly questioning whether or not it's okay to do. In a way, it feels.
How do you mean?
You know, just the idea of standing on a stage and like the nonverbal communication of being on a stage and quote unquote asking for everyone else to be silent while you are speaking or singing my thoughts, you know, into a microphone for an hour, right? Like there's some inherent just like, man, that's kind of a big responsibility. Like you don't just like get to do that. Like in other conversations, you don't just I don't know. So I think there's just some struggle with self-promotion and stuff of like, okay, how much is this like, you know, me wanting people's attention and validation versus me just being in love with music and wanting to share it. And I think that I've probably had a decent amount of just like insecurity for a while, and it's gotten in my own way of just being like, no, this is music. Other people love it. Honor that and, you know, make it and put it out for other people. So yeah, I don't know.
You're basically explaining the exact definition of imposter syndrome, right? Like,
I guess.
And
yeah.
I mean, everybody struggles with it from what you hear, but I think that's why it's such a insane concept, is because you're not forcing the people to come see you, right? They're doing it on their own accord. They want to see you. They love your music. Your music's amazing. Like your voice is amazing. That your new single from the EP is just, it's perfect. It sounds so great. And there's a reason why people are coming to see it. And I get that, like even on a smaller scale, even with just this podcast and with the self-promotion thing, it does feel weird.
Right.
Like for me to be talking to you, it feels weird for me to be in this position to be talking to such a talented musician. And I think everyone deals with that on their own level, like from ground floor to you to like you said, Taylor Swift. I'm sure at a certain point on her rise to fame, and even now she still deals with like the media and critics and things like that. So I think no matter what level, that's why imposter syndrome has a name, because it is just a psychological phenomenon where you don't feel like you belong.
Totally.
But you do, because people are coming on their own. You're not forcing it.
Well, but so that's where I will actually just push back a little bit, because in the beginning, nobody was coming. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody, and I was bad. You know, like the first time I stepped on stage, I wasn't good, man. I promise you, it's been bad for a long time. And so there's this weird and that's where some of that struggle was with like, you know, I definitely now like only the past year, 2 years have really settled into, okay, no, like, hey, you're supposed to be doing this. And like, now you really got to double down and really just let go of all that other bullshit and start focusing on how to do the best possible job that you can. But man, for a while it was like, oh, you know, pay attention to me, like, oh, you know, try to, because it's so hard when you're first starting something out, to build it and to like be able to get the opportunities that help you grow as well. So yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. At the end of the day, like you said, like everyone's just humans, you know. So it's like, I don't know, we're all just the same.
And it's all about like seeing that goal, and you'll always compare yourself to the top 1%, like we talked about. Like that's what being a musician is in your head. So it's like I'm still on the road there. Like people always feel like they're never good enough, and it's just that setting a goal, and to get there you got to take each individual step, but you want to make the leap, but that's not how fame happens. Like we were talking about being famous, that's not how reaching goals happens. It doesn't happen in one step. You have to take those steps.
Totally.
And I know what you mean with like the promotion thing, that it's so weird. And especially in today's market, like the music industry is so diluted with just, I mean, everyone's got a voice now, especially with the internet.
Totally.
So to be
TikTok,
right? Like people are starting to write songs that are a minute long just because TikTok is the only way people consume things. And it's just, the whole industry is changing, and it's just like, to be famous and to be successful, there's marketing, it's a business. It's not just like, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Right. Like, I mean, you're better singer than hundreds of famous pop stars, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
It's about luck. It's about marketing. It's about selling your soul to the record companies sometimes, maybe.
It's a little bit of both. I think it's some of that sometimes, and then other times there's just, you know, there's songs, or when someone just says something and it just strikes a chord, like, you know, I don't know, you know, it's yeah, I don't really know, but I sure as hell am glad I'm not like in middle school right now with TikTok and Instagram and all these, like, it's so hard for me as an adult to like handle the emotional, like, what the hell is going on with all this? I can't even imagine being like that age and trying to sort through socially what all that different stuff means. Yeah, it's so weird. It is so weird.
I know. I see it all the time too. Like my son's 10 years old.
Okay.
And they know all the songs that are TikTok famous.
Really?
They know dances. It's just, and I worry about it as being like the attention span that the kids are going to have. It's
right.
I don't know. It's worrisome.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But then it's like, okay, are we just like the old people that are like, oh, it's next generation? Like, you know, that
definitely,
which is exactly what it is. Yeah. So I don't know. It's wild.
Oh, I'm trying to think of a quote. Like, I used to, I feel like it's from The Simpsons. Like, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. You know what I mean? Whatever that
Yeah,
quote is.
exactly.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, no, I fully believe that. It's and kind of to that point again, it's like we grew up listening to musicians and like, the whole idea of like being a rock star or whatever. It's like the rock stars nowadays are like YouTubers and TikTokers, you know.
Yep.
Analog music is old, it's like which is funny. And yeah, I don't know, but it's just funny stuff.
I know.
That the show is kind of, so a lot of it is just, it's touching on this idea of fame culture and like the kind of obsession and need for attention, and navigating, how I've interacted with that, but then also just kind of like the fear of it in general. So that's kind of the through line, I think, in the EP.
Yeah. So how's the music scene right now in Nashville?
Starting to come back to life in
Yeah.
a good way. Yeah, I think as the vaccines just continue to roll out, people are feeling more and more comfortable, and I'm very, very excited about that, because yeah, I don't know, we've just missed it big time, and so
Definitely.
it's exciting, that it feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel of, hey, we're gonna be able to start interacting and doing things with people now.
Yeah. I follow a few comedians that are based out of Nashville. I believe Nate Bargatze and
Yep.
Theo Vaughn.
Oh, I didn't
And
know that Theo Vaughn is in Nashville, but okay.
yeah. Yeah. So like I see that they're starting to play some shows there. And I was wondering if the same was for music. And I think I heard you guys have a show right away.
Yeah, so we actually have a show on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. The Wednesday one is a college drive-in show in Indiana. And then Thursday is my friends and some guys that are in the band. Arts Fishing Club's kind of a conglomerate. There's guys in and out, and that's just kind of how Nashville is. But they have an instrumental band, the Donaldson Broncos, and so that's like this super cool jazz fusion-y band. And so they're doing a set, and then I'm sitting in with them for a little while. And then on Friday we've got a rooftop show. So it's a lot of like outdoor type shows and socially distanced shows, but it's coming back. So excited.
Nice. And actually, the drummer for one of my favorite bands, Umphrey's McGee, he's in Nashville now.
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Myers.
Right on. I love Umphrey's. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still can't get down there. Our borders are closed, right? So like I can't even travel across the border to come see shows once they're starting to release dates and stuff. And I'm just not able to do it yet.
Really?
So,
okay. Yeah. That is a major bummer. So would you do that a lot? Do you travel a lot to go see bands?
Yeah, like year round. Like
no way.
New York is a typical 4 or 5 times a year, usually.
Okay.
About a 10-hour drive from where I'm at.
Okay, cool.
And so Boston, Portland, New York, anything within that range, all the way to like probably DC is the furthest that I consider for a drive. It's about 13 hours.
Okay.
And then anything else, we sometimes fly. Like we like to fly into Denver. We've hit Red Rocks and did some New Year's runs there and stuff. So, but now I just don't know when I'll be allowed to even cross the border and do those runs anymore.
Right. That's wild. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm hopeful that it's going to come back kind of sooner than later. I don't know. I think within the year, hopefully.
It feels like it. Yeah.
It definitely feels like it.
Hopefully.
Because for a while, like right at January, February, it was still kind of bleak and it felt like, oh, nothing's coming back. And then all of a sudden it just, the energy, I think once spring hit and the vaccines have been rolling out pretty good.
Regulations started changing a bit too. Like some of the festivals started dropping dates and announcements. And then you realize that they're being a little more lenient with outdoor shows. So like outdoor festivals just seem to hopefully come right back. And
Totally.
I mean, it's a little hopeful. I'm hoping that this is the year that it just kind of starts opening up with the vaccines, like you said, and everything gets back to normal musically.
Definitely.
Anyways, man, this has been fucking cool. This is awesome for me. I love your guys' new EP. I just listened to it today.
Hey, appreciate it.
So it's out April 30th. You guys got 3 shows this weekend. This probably won't be out before those shows, but
right. Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, Arts Fishing Club. Arts Fishing Club.
Arts is Fishing Club. Yeah, exactly.
Right on, man. Christopher, it's been awesome.
It was great to meet you. Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one.
Cheers.